How's everybody doing tonight? Let's get going. Trying to get back in the groove. Struggle streaming as always. I'll make it happen. Looks like it's just me. Let's keep going. You see it. Small business in NIST 800-53. Got a couple questions, so I just thought I'd kind of go through it again and just talk about bits and pieces of it. Shout out to Chris Whitlock for joining me. Kind of just left their stream about a half an hour ago, so had a good quantum stream going. So let's go and hit this small business. You know how we do. If you got any questions, put them in the chat. I am. So I get a lot of questions. NIST 800 defines security and privacy. The big thing is for federal systems. While designed for government agency, cloud service providers, and contractors, including small business, must implement these controls, requirements. A lot of times people say NIST is voluntary, which is true, but the agencies that report to them are not. So if you're trying to do FedRAMP, you have to get an ATO, IRS Pub 1075. You have to get an ATO every 3 years. A third party, 3PL, will come out to your org and do an assessment of you. FISMA, Modernization Act, and of course, CMMC level 2 or 3. I think both of those you need assessors to come out, and it's mandatory. It's not voluntary. So that's kind of the big things with kind of when you roll up to NIST. A lot of people say, once again, it's it's a voluntary. Which, once again, if you report to one of the oversight agencies, if you looked in side NIST, it always goes oversight agency. So some of the oversight agencies are the IRS, FISMA, which could be DOD, CGIS, which is FBI, CMMC, level 2 or 3 is DOD. And once again, those will be mandatory. You have to get an ATO, an authority to operate. Here's the 20 families, which is kind of, I would say, a heavy lift. That's a part of NIST. Once again, access control, awareness training, audit and accountability assessment, configuration management, contingency planning, identification, authentication, incident response, maintenance, media protection, PE, physical environment planning, program management, personnel security, PI, processing and transparency, risk assessment, which is huge, system service and acquisition, system communication, system and information integrity, and supply chain management. So once again, you're going to overlay or tailor that to your organization. So of course, you probably wouldn't be doing all 20. But once again, those are the security families, and I think there's probably 1,000 checks in there, which a lot of times people think that might be a bit much for a small organization. Once again, put any questions or statements in the chat. Just gonna kind of roll through it. Once again, late night with PBO. And if you look at the this 800-53 document, this is how it breaks them down when you get to the control enhancements. A lot of times I call those subfamilies. Control name, base control. There it is, organizationally defined. I always say oversight, but in the document, it's organizationally defined. Once again, that'll be the IRS, DOD. A lot of times HIPAA does NIST 800-66. So whatever that organization, they put their actual definition of security on top of NIST. Then once again, you see the control enhancements. So audit storage, offload audit reports, that's basically going to a SIM. Then it kind of delves down into the discussion so you can really kind of figure out what that control enhancements or sub families actually asking for. That's one reason I like NIST. Right? You can drill down into it. But like Chris said in our previous conversation, that's a lot of checks for a small company, and it's a heavy lift. But I think more checks brings you more security. So that's kind of was my slight issue with CMMC. They have probably half the checks of NIST 800-53. So if you have half the checks, can you be more secure? So that's always my question. But the government already made their decision of what they're going to do and how they're going to do it. So PBO just salutes the flag and keep rolling. Once again, put in your questions inside the chat box, and we'll keep rolling. So once again, small business, it's always a shared responsibility, especially in the cloud. Everybody know I like AWS. So once again, they're just talking about some of the shared responsibility. So physical security, AWS handles the data center, right? So AWS has a standard SSP. They can share with you a lot of times. The biggest sessions already have it from the large cloud vendors. So they know what those shared checks are. OS patching, unless you manage service like RDS or Lambda, they already does those check. Network segmentation, you can set up your VPC, your security groups, and your NACLs. Encryption, shout out to Chris. We was just talking about the quantum encryption. You can do it at rest and transit, the tools they provide. KMS, key managed storage. We were actually looking at, I think it was the NIST 205, 206. AWS had some of the ciphers they were working with already. We actually shared a lab in study GRC when they did their lab. On the logging piece, you can do CloudTrail, GuardDuty, and CloudWatch. So once again, you've seen all those security families. AWS has services, once again, to help you meet the requirements of that organizationally defined requirement. Once again, if the IRS, DOD, CGIS, which is the FBI. A lot of times, once again, AWS already has a service to help you meet those requirements. Once again, tools to help you implement it. We were talking about the account management. You got AIM, single sign-on. You can see audit log. We talked about that. CloudTrail, CloudWatch, encryption, KMS, and ASM, which is the secure certificate manager. If you're going to need a certificate, if you're doing SSL or TLS on a web server. Vulnerability scanning. You got Amazon Inspector and System Manager. So once again, those security families, it tells you what AWS service to run to meet those requirements. So that's, again, how small companies can ramp up to NIST pretty quick inside of the cloud. Be Azure or AWS. Once again, they have services to meet those particular, because they want the government money. Some of the tailoring features, a big one is AWS AWS Control Tower and Landing Zone. Pre-configure guardrails and helps you map to NIST 800-53. Implementing MFA for all users. So that tells you CloudTrail. We talked about the AU and SI controls. Encrypted in your S3 bucket, SC for encryption. So once again, AWS and even Azure is going to give you those families to help you spin up pretty quick to meet those types of business requirements. And that's why I'm a big kind of cloud advocate. Once again, you get those services, you get them configured right. And like Chris was talking about, a lot of times you can have AWS Control Tower is kind of their machine learning. Looks at your environment, you click on what you want to set up, and it actually build it for you. We were looking at Landing Zone, but it was like $400 a month. I was looking at Control Tower, one of the AWS contractors. There's a local meetup in my area, and he was telling me to use Control Tower, and it's way less expensive and actually better guardrails and better control. So I'll probably talk about that and set that up in an upcoming stream. So I dropped the link if anybody want to come up. But once again, we were talking about the KMS post quantum encryption, getting ready for that. So I was just saying, we barely doing regular encryption. Once again, if you're a small company, you need to spin up especially from an AWS perspective. It just shows you. If you actually go on my channel, I've done videos on Cloud Trail, Guard Duty, S3 buckets. So most of those services they're talking about, I've probably done a video on that. So I can become more accustomed from a GRC perspective, what that would look like if we were spinning it up from a small organization. Some of the standard documents you would need from a NIST perspective: system security plan, configuration management plan, incident response, access control policy, risk assessment, contingency planning, and POAM, which is basically a schedule. So those are kind of some of the NIST 800. I always call that part of the management. We looked at the 20 security families you would need, policies and procedures, and these are probably some of the most requested documents. You see it right there, ATO, that you would need to pass an ATO. A lot of times, and we're going to start doing that, and Chris did an excellent job. What's up, Regine? We can generate that out of Grok, or what's up, casual economists? Out of Grok or ChatGPT, or so a lot of those we can get a base things, and we just have to overlay it and customize it to our particular organization. And the big thing, and I think we talked about this, are you going to do low, moderate, or high? And we were talking about that is, I think high is 1,000 checks, I believe. Low, I think, will be probably 300 or 400. So a lot of people ask me with small business, I would just start off with low, knock those checks out. Then, later on or another quarter, do the moderate. Then, like you said, high is rare for small business, but just kind of look at those. You kind of want to be secure as possible, but I would just start off with the low baseline, kind of work your way up, build your way up. Because a lot of times I think, and we talked about this a lot, you don't want to bite off more than you could chew or bite off more than you could handle. So I would actually start off with the low checks and kind of work your way up. But most federal contracts are going to be moderate. High, a lot of times, is life and death. You see it right there. Life, mission critical, or life impacting systems is high. So, like you see, customer data, business. Okay, that's cool, Chris. Let's see, Cam, my man. You always got questions, Chris. It's all cool. I'll be here. So let's see. Would risk assessment and IRP be optional documents? I'm assuming you have to those be mandatory. Be an optional documentation. I'm assuming you have those be mandatory. Yeah, those will be mandatory. Yeah, those definitely would be mandatory. Incident as risk assessment, you got to look at all your software that's gonna touch your network, especially without a third party attack. So risk assessment is mandatory. Now we could talk about the maturity of your risk assessment and incident response planning, and part of that is breach notification. If you get hacked and you got customers, they want you to know you have some documentation to handle that, Cam. So both of those being optional documents. No, those are not optional. Did I have those as optional? Oh, I think I see what you're saying. Let me go back and look at. Did I have that optional? Oh. No, you're correct. You are correct. I think, yeah. No, I think you're correct. Those are not options. Well, let me roll that back. Depending on your government oversight, but if you do anything for DOD, IRS, I'm trying to figure out when that will be optional. I'm sure if you were low and depending on the type of data you were doing, but no, I agree with you, Kim. Good catch on that. That would not be optional. So no. Yeah, all of those will be. The only thing on there might be optional is the SSP, because a lot of times when you do the IRS or CMC, they have so much other documentation. If you put it all together, you would have an SSP. So a lot of times, no, you're right, Cam, on that. Good catch. You are 100% correct. That would be required. especially from a federal perspective. Considering I generated some of that out of ChatGPT, like you said, most of that would not be optional. I can't remember when some of that's optional. So yeah, I pulled these from old slide. We're just gonna look at some standard 3 tier. From the technical side, a lot of times when we talk about GRC, we talk about policy procedures. We looked at a bunch of plans. We were talking about quantum, but a lot of times we forget there's actually technical sides and hardening to it that really that's where the security part is. One of my bosses told me nobody's ever hacked a policy. So I was like, that's a good point. So we're going to look at some of the technology standpoint. And I think this is where sometimes the small businesses struggle a little bit. So this is a standard 3 tier architecture. You got your web tier, application tier, and we're not showing a database tier. I think that's on the next slide here. So you have your web server. I'm a Java guy, so here we would probably have our Apache or an Nginx server. Here we would have our Tomcat server. Your database, that probably would be Postgres, MySQL. I'm an Oracle guy because once again, I worked in the federal government, so we want to pay a gazillion dollars for a database. So from a hardening standpoint, I think we're kind of veering away from GRC to more security architecture. But once again, the GRC and that team needs to be able to communicate. So a lot of times I used to go out and work with the development teams and we're going to look at how are you hardening? Is this check? Here's your checks. Let me come back to me and tell me what you can do and what you cannot do, right? Then we need to figure out your findings, your mitigated controls, and we'll look at that a little bit. But from a GRC perspective / security architecture, these are the things we harden from a technology side from the GRC. We could do CIS hardening, schism hardenings which is the IRS, and DoD hardening. Let's see, Chris coming in like a wrecking ball. What's going on?
Oh boy, I got questions for you.
Go ahead, I'm ready.
Yeah. First of all, how do you put small business and 853 in the same sentence?
Because you know this. Well, you don't know this. And somebody said you got a lot of small companies trying to get government work, man. When I was working for the state of Indiana, we had to review all of our tax providers. It'd be 3 dudes in a garage trying to get state taxes. So we had to knock them out the box. You get a lot of small companies trying to get government work.
Oh, yeah.
Shit. Who's that? Is that you again?
Okay. That's my shared screen. So
no, that's cool. That's
we
cool.
We mentioned this Trello board here, and I can drop this in chat too, because I already knew PBO would be going live and so forth. So of course I had to, pull out my entire archive of questions I've compiled for him. So one of the things is like low baseline. What I was going to mention is, especially for small business, you were mentioning like low baseline. That's still 149 controls.
Man, I used to do 10,000, so 149. I'm like, for me, that's small.
That's significantly more than the 50 or the CSF.
Shout out to Dr. I'm gonna say the CSF is the little brother, but go ahead. Okay, but go ahead.
No, I understand. And so, kind of the first part of the question is there a poor man's way to the 53 for these small businesses?
I shouldn't say this. I would go to CSF, then step your way up to NIST.
It's on the internet forever now, PBO.
I've never scared me. I need to get my own banner for me. Go ahead. So yeah, now seriously, I would just because too, let's take a step back. You are trying to do federal work. So signing up for 100 checks to me is pretty small to try to get that work.
Yeah.
The two, once again, we were looking at a lot of those features are AWS and Azure has the CloudWatch, the login is already set up. It comes encrypted. You get the FIPS endpoint. You just got to click the buttons. So now, I mean, with AWS, you can probably spin that up pretty easy. We need to do that. I'm going to do that as a lab, just start spinning it up. But I think you can do that pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah, I was kind of curious. And so that leads into the second part of my question on, okay, so we're a small business. We're in the cloud. We need to comply with, the 53 low baselines or otherwise. Is there some type of cheat sheet that says, hey, these ones are handled by the cloud provider, but these are the ones? Where is that cheat sheet?
I will share. If you go to, and I did it. If you go to AWS config, they have some called a conformance pack, and I'll show it. The conformance packs, It says if you're using an S3 bucket, here's are the things you need to do to configure that. And I'll bring it up. I actually have that in my test lab. You scan it like it's a Rapid 7, and it'll tell you your score, and it'll tell you what you need to fix.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's what I was kind of curious about because, I knew that they had a lot of tooling and so forth, but I would find it pretty redundant to have to go through all of the controls and so forth.
Yeah, I go back and forth. I get what you're, and I kind of agree with you saying. And once again, I'm old and curmudgeon. My boss was, if you don't know what you're signing up for, don't do it. But I get where you're coming from. We got to try to help them a little bit. So I used to have my big boss was like, we want this company, help them, right? So I'm going to the conformance packs now. Conformance packs. How far? Go ahead.
You remember that TISAX framework that you mentioned that you talked about? We actually have somebody in Discord right now that's asking about it.
Okay. What are they asking?
How fluent did you become? They applied to a position that requires it or works with it.
I need to ask them where it was at. That's funny. Yeah, I'll ping them. Did they look at the video?
That's what I'm sending to them right now.
Okay, yeah, send them a video.
You guys got a video for that.
The weird thing is,
I've never heard of it elsewhere.
I was the very few that did ITAR too. Here, I'm going to share my screen again. Let's see. Replay sharing screen. I'm glad. Yeah, I did a video on. You can look up AWS conformance. You see my? Let me make sure I can see it.
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay. Yeah.
I already pulled the link and dropped it for him.
Okay, so yeah, this is it, and let's go to the NIST.
And then you just have to change the app that you're sharing or otherwise.
Yeah, I'm sharing it.
Oh yeah.
You see it? You see it? Yep.
Yeah, I see it.
Let me find the NIST. It's got everything, and there's 53 for 5. So you can download. It's huge. You can download spreadsheets. So if I was doing, see, you said it says 824. It tells you logging, then it tells you what you need to do to configure the logging. So all the checks you have, these would be the moderate checks though. So, but yeah, so if you're using the CloudWatch, it tells you what you need to do to configure that in the guidance and how to set it up. Then with the conformance packs, you can just point it to your environment once you get set up. It'll grade it and tell you what you need to fix in it. And I'll probably bring that up in a second. So that's kind of when I'm say small business, and these are things. And Azure has their same type of templates and guidance and scanners that help you do it. So now with a small business, I think you can help set it up pretty quick. Then if you do AWS Control Tower, you hit a button, and it is set up what they believe is the full setup for that. Shout out to my man Ty. Your own banner for your own channel. Shout out to me, Cam.
Yeah, shout out to exactly. Yeah, so that answers the two primary questions I had there.
Fine. No, you're correct, Cam, and no, that's true. That's true. So let me get back in there and let's look at some of the. Once again, now, which I don't think we talk enough about in the GRC perspective, let's talk about the technology side of that.
regarding like those checks?
Yeah, the
Or
checks. Yeah, the checks for the technology. Yeah, the checks. Did I close mine? Oh no, there it is. Let's see. Of course, I got to struggle stream a little bit. Let's see. There we go. So once again, from a 3-tier perspective, we got our public subnet. We got our load balancers and different things. So these are the things from a small business that you have to hardening in the NIST perspective. Once again, for your scanner. So each one of these are AWS responsibility, but once again, you kind of tell it what keys you want to do, tell it how you want to encrypt the traffic in transit. And that's what we were looking at in the conformance packs. I forgot it was in the slide, but so it tells you here automated auditing. A lot of people would use Splunk. They have their own version of CloudTrail. If you use in multi regions, it tells you how to put it in a single bucket and how that should look, right? Or if you use an Amazon Open Search, once again, which is their Splunk part of that search, to be able to look through your logs. So a lot of times you can use AWS services, or if you have, if your company standard Splunk, you can actually use a Splunk tenant inside AWS. What was you gonna say, Chris?
So that makes me think that, so basically what this kind of is like the 853B or A, but for AWS.
Yes.
Yeah. The 53A, where it actually tells you what you need to do.
Yeah, but that's more testing. But yeah, right. But I think it's really more 53 because it tells you once again what the setup is, and 2 is depending on what services you're using. Right, you might use S3 bucket, Lambda, and maybe DynamoDB. So it tells you how to set that up for AWS. Of course, you're gonna have VPC that you have to set up. Once again, to actually do government work, you got to be logging certain stuff. So some of this stuff is going to be mandatory.
Mm-hmm.
If y'all got any questions, put them in the chat. Shout out to my man Ty. Thanks for joining me. But once again, that's why I think you can do it in a small company now. Once again, they got a lot of setups. And 2 is we were looking at the AWS config, kind of like Rapid7. If you scan it, these are the things that will come up as findings. If your Amazon Elastic block storage wasn't set up right, it's not publicly restorable, right? So it tells you what you need to do to make it NIST compliant. So let's say I had environment up and I scan it. These are some of the errors. Security groups should not allow, if you once again you set up your security group, you should not allow traffic from out of the internet on port 2022, right? Port 2022 is secure shell. You should be saying that's coming from this particular company, or hopefully if you're using from your home computer, this is your IP that you're pulling from your service provider. You shouldn't let anybody on the internet come in on port 2022, right? So once again, when you scan it, these are your findings you would get depending on what services you run around. So you can become this 800-53 validated or certified. So
does that mean I can go ahead and run Telnet on 23 though?
Nope. It would be blocked because inside your security group, if you had 23, it definitely would cause an error. If you let anybody come in from any port, right, that would be an error. So no, I will let you do. Because if you see 2022, they're coming in 2022, 33089, I believe is
RDP.
Yeah, RDP, right? So they're telling you if you're coming in from RDP, which they don't like, you at least need to give it an IP or an IP range, just not anybody on the internet.
So that's like deny all and then just, allow.
Yep. You got to allow some specific. You can do a CIDR block if you got a company range, but this will come through. I told you the first time I did this at DLT, we had 10,000 findings. So I never forget that day. We were freaking out. But once again, we had 200 VMs, so a lot of that was duplicated over the same VMs. But when we first got that, we were like, "Oh my god, we're gonna never pass." Shout out to us.
I feel like this could be pretty hard to manage, like with a remote workforce of some sort, though.
No, it'll be easy. No? Why would it be easy? We're gonna force you to VPN to the company. Then from the company, we'll let you go to your AWS tenant. won't let you go directly from your home.
I see.
Right. Then it's easier because we know what IPs we're coming in from our company. And everybody's forcing you to VPN into your company now. So
Yeah.
So now that's how you would do it. I think the next level is people want to get rid of VPN, but for that part, they're like, well, how do you go? But that part, once again, when you VPN your company and you come out from your company, we know the sighting range that your company has. So that's how we actually. And a lot of times too, like you're gonna be a high value worker, privileged user. So we actually probably have a reserved IP once you VPN into your organization, you're going to get an IP from your organization. We probably just only let your IP go to certain systems, right? If you're a DPA or SA, system administrator, we only let them go to certain boxes.
Yeah.
So then there you see your Docker registry. And two is, once again, that's the cool thing with AWS, that conformance pack. These are a lot of checks coming out your conformance pack. So they're going to let you know off the bat. In the old days, you kind of like had to hunk and peck and kind of figure it out. It's like, no, here's all your findings. You need to fix them. And if you look at them, it'll tell you if it's high, medium, or low. So if it's high, you got to fix it. We're not going to leave and let you get a mitigating control.
Mm-hmm.
So let's keep rolling. And
two is make it easy.
Still, it's a heavy lift. And two is a lot of times if you don't do the configuration, you can just buy it off the AWS marketplace. So they always have CIS hardening stuff. You can buy straight off the marketplace and not worry about if you're trying to manually configure and come up with your own image. You can just buy them and they're already certified for government work. So if you look at the highlights, they say this is certified for PCIDS, FedRAMP, DoD, FISMA. So this is already, so you just buy this and it's like 3 cents an hour or something crazy. So a lot of times you can just buy the image and just spin it up. And once again, then you don't have to worry about hardening. It's already hardening. You just got to. So I think that's all I had. Unless you had a few more questions. Like I said,
I could keep you talking for hours. I mean, how late do you want to go?
Hey, I'm up. I done got a Pepsi, man. I'm gonna be up studying a little bit, so I'm good.
I was gonna say, how is your studying going? Weren't you going for that other AWS?
I am. I have one more to do. I'm hoping to do it in a couple weeks. I passed the associate architect and I passed the SysOps. Now I'm trying to pass the developer. Then I was going to switch to the CISSP. So I was like, oh my God.
Saving the hardest one for last?
I am. And I go back and forth with the sys. Sometimes like, do I really need it? I got enough experience. But when you're trying to, do remote work and it's 300 people already applied, I'm like, I might need that sys just to get in the door. So, but yeah, that's kind of.
I mean, it checks out.
Let's see what my mentor said. I located shadowing opportunity to work for us. Okay, good luck with that. Shadowing is always cool.
Nice.
2 is my man Chris. There, what are you offering? They can come talk to you. I don't know what you officially call it. Is that mentoring?
Yeah, so we just call it Coffee with the Mafia, and so it's like coaching calls, and I could drop that in chat too.
Yeah, drop that in chat. I think I'm tier 2 on there somewhere if they need me.
Yes, exactly.
If they need me, I'm available.
Yeah, with the Coffee with the Mafia portion, it's primarily a group of 8 different people who have volunteered their time. You can just go through and schedule a one-on-one for assistance with road mapping and mock projects, or if you have any questions or otherwise. And then if one of them don't know it, then they know somebody who does, like PBO over here at tier 2. You didn't even make it to tier 3, PBO.
I'm fine. I was a little soft, like, am I not 3? But I'm fine in my old age. I am fine. Wherever y'all need me at, I was.
We don't have a tier 3 yet.
I'm fine. 3, 2, 1, wherever y'all need me at, I'll try to. Once again, put your comments in chat. Just kind of briefly. I keep getting questions like Chris said. NIST and small business, you get a lot of small businesses trying to get that government money, man. So I think people have expertise, but I don't think they know what they're signing up for when they try to do government work.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I mean, one way or another, you can make it work.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But yeah, I appreciate it, PBO. I won't keep you too long.
No, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, but so like I said, I've been doing this forever. So just I think getting the cadence, and I think what you've been doing a lot, Groknim can help you with the policies, help you with the procedures. You would have to, overlay them and customize them for that company. But if you prompt them right here, you can probably get them to come out pretty close. So I think a lot of that type of paperwork is a little easier now with AI.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So
Fine.
then if you prompt it right, then shout out to Cam. I had optional plans. Most of those plans I had were not optional. So I think when I generated some of this out with Chat GPT, all these plans are mandatory in this, especially if you're going for federal work.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
and what I was going to say is, yeah, especially with today's technology, like look at the different tools that are available now that's built, like they have AI built into a lot of these things for automations and just to make things easier. So, yeah, it's still not easy, but it's easier than it was back in your day.
oh yeah, I think for me it makes it easier, but once you do a couple, because like I said, the first time you do it, it just seems overwhelming. I remember the first time I was doing it, and I just had the web team part. It just seemed like it was just overwhelming
Yeah.
because we were doing Apache and Tomcat. I think total was like 300 checks. I think we were going over probably 150 VMs. It was brutal. And I don't think we had a consistent image. So it was really, really brutal. I think now because you can spin up images, you can build them off the same image. Your configuration management is kind of built into your process if you build images correctly. So a lot of stuff we were kind of hand jamming some of that stuff, and it kind of came back to haunt us because we're like, yeah, none of these images are the same. So now we got to scan each one individually.
Yeah, and that's what you're saying, especially for the small business. Like, go to the cloud for that because it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
way easier of a lift, which
Yeah.
makes sense. And you could do that now. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
the same thing with CMMC where they're going to the cloud for it because it's way more
Oh yeah.
economical and just makes more sense.
Yeah, and we were looking at the thin client. I think it helps you to secure because if you go through a thin client, I don't think you have to worry about your corporate
With a
machines because you're going through a VDI.
correct. Yeah, that's my understanding. That's what they're using for the enclaves.
Yeah,
So is the thin clients because
so
then
if
they
you
don't have to worry about it.
so you go thin client, do your configuration up there, then that cuts a lot of you're scanning out from your corporate workstations.
Yeah. That's another one of the videos that's been on your hit list is, the thin clients for AWS.
I did one. I need to update it probably. That probably was 2 years ago. I think I did. It might be 3 years ago.
I think your CMMC videos are like 2 years old too.
They are. They are. So I'm still laughing at that T-Sax video. I just
Yeah. There's a
like
lot of different, regulations and so forth out there. So yeah. There's also, what is that?
car.
NERC with
Oh,
critical infrastructure for
yeah,
like electric power companies.
that's nuclear. I thought it's NERC electric or nuclear.
It's for critical infrastructure. I know that the power companies have to run off of it as
Okay,
well.
okay.
So,
Yeah,
but
I thought there was a special one for nuclear, but I might be wrong.
I mean, I hope there is, to be honest with
Yeah,
you.
I think it was. I can't remember. I thought it was. Yeah,
You're gonna make me have to find it now.
yeah. I'm thinking about like what's it? I know there's one out there.
Well, if I wasn't on the watch list, I sure am now. Is it IAEA?
Let's see, NERC. You're right. NERC is the electric. What is nuclear?
There's also CSET. There's got to be something for it, I would imagine. I would be very surprised if there wasn't. That would be another really awesome video to have, though.
So I'm googling it too.
There's a lot of regulation on it, of course, like the Nuclear Energy Innovation and Modernization Act.
I think it's NRC, and I think I was merging them both. I think NRC is the nuclear, and I thought the NERC, because the thing is just one is NE and one is just no E. So I think I was putting those together, thinking they were the same.
Yeah, Nuclear Regulatory Commission.
Yeah,
NRC.
Yeah, and I was confusing that with the NER. So that, well, I guess I just took the E out. Okay. So yeah, there's so much out there. Shout out. I was going to call you, Big Money Cam. Shout out to people. We used to work together. So I got to interview you.
Yeah, shout out to PBO.
So yeah, we used to work together when I was a state consultant.
Oh, God.
He's one of the young guys I helped get on the team. My boss wasn't feeling him.
I'm sorry, Big Cam.
He's big. He's 6'9". He used to be 420. He done lost some weight though. He looked slim last time. I used to call him Tiny. Call him Tiny at work. No, shout out to Big Cam, doing good things. Somebody I got to help get in the industry, man. So I could say I helped a few people. Oh, let's see what Kim's saying there. Okay, yeah, I saw that. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so you didn't just throw hands the whole time, apparently.
No. He know that was my boss, man. Big Jan. He was the mean one. He the one that told me I gotta toughen up. I'm interviewing. So yeah. Big Jan used to get on me and Cam. He'd be like, I don't see you write no notes. Shout out to Big Jan.
Yeah, exactly, Big Cam. Yeah, PBO puts people on. Yeah, we have an entire meme and everything else for PBO, for Thunder Punch PBO.
So yeah, I tried to. Yeah, he was just kind of he was programming, trying to get into cyber. We talked and he had a master's degree. I'm like, dude, you're on the wrong team. So I talked to my boss and he said, get Cam on the team. Got him on the team. So
doing God's work.
Trying to, and we talked about it. Cam was young. He was by far the youngest. I think I was 40, and I think I was the youngest on the team. We had a pretty old team, so we had to get some youth in the team. So we bought Cam to bring some youth on there. Yeah, our team was good though, but we were old. I think everybody on the team before Cam got it, everybody probably had 25 years at least of experience.
Wow.
It was a veteran team. I interviewed Julie on there. She was IAM expert, and she came from a Fortune 500 pharmaceutical company. So
that's another one on your backlog there too, is doing more of the interviews.
Yeah, I just got to get some energy.
Come on, PBO. Take another nap every day.
I'm getting up there, man. I'm getting tired. I'm up there.
I'm gonna go ahead and hop out of here, but
I appreciate
thank you for the information and everything else. And
it's all good.
Yeah. So apparently, according to you, even small businesses can do the 53.
What you mean, according to me? We can do it. We can make it happen. Yeah, I appreciate y'all. Probably gonna kind of bring it to an end. I'm running out of gas. I'll probably do a little more studying and gone. Are you getting any certs, or you just
me
working on your skills? Yeah.
Primarily, I'm just focused on study GRC at this point in time. I still want to get that CIPP.
Yeah,
that's I studied for that like 70% of the way, and then I kind of backed off of it. So kind of like you, but with the CISSP. But it's been less than a year for me.
Why you have to bring that up? Facts, though. I need to get on that.
And then also, I was probably gonna go for like that CCSK, the neutral cloud certs. B-Dubs also obtained the CCSK and the CCZT, which is the Zero Trust for cloud as well.
I don't put that in the chat. Which one's the Zero Trust? I don't think I heard of that one.
Yeah, so the CCZT is a new one. So from Cloud Security Alliance, it's probably maybe a year old. But during Black Friday, they have you get both of them for the price of one.
Okay.
So I'm probably going to grab those up just because I like the fact of vendor neutral cloud certs, and also like zero trust is, a good thing.
It is. I was gonna do another video on that. I probably got 6 videos on zero trust, but I haven't probably done one in a couple of years. So how much is it? Normal, price?
Oh, I think it's like $600 a pop.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Are they recognized out there?
They do pop up on, so at least the SK one is on job descriptions. So it is recognized. The ZT one is pretty new. So I haven't personally seen it anywhere.
Okay, I haven't seen it. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, because it's less than a year old. So
Super Green Samurai. I'm studying for mine. My big homie Cam, and he has a CISP. So I do not have one. That's on my list. I've been talking about that for 20 years. Long story short, 2010, I missed it by 6 questions. I have a Security Plus, and I never went back and took it. Most times I have enough experience where most people don't ask me for a CISP, but in this job market, I think for senior positions to get through HR, I think you need CISP, but I do not have mine. If you go to Study GRC's playlist, is that on? Did she put those in Study GRC or on her channel, Chris? I can't remember.
that's on her channel. I did drop the link for that.
Okay. Super Green Samurai. If you go to this channel, she was actually doing a CISP study playlist. It was great. So I'm gonna go back and review hers, but I do not. My goal is to get that this year, the CISP, but I said that last year too. so we'll see. We're gonna be transparent. I said that last year too. Yeah, so
Right.
that's kind of in there. But I kind of go back and forth. I see so many people on LinkedIn with certifications. It's almost becoming like white noise to me. So I'm kind of going back and forth. So
yeah, it's to get past HR is really what it comes down to. So
especially at the senior level, I think me and Kim talked about it. The CISP, I think they have 6 versions of it, like a developer version, different ones, and I think it's 6 or 8 of them. It's only like 10 people that have all those CISSPs. So I've been debating if I'm gonna try to take a shot at it.
Oh gosh.
So I've been debating that. What you thinking about that, Cam? If you still on, but yeah, so you know what I'm talking about. They got like the CISP, ISSP for development or something. There's about 3 or 4 of those. So I don't know. I was like, what if I got all of them?
There was a chart that I saw before that actually lists out like how many people have the CISSP or other certifications too. So like the CISSP, I think there was like 110,000 people or something that have that particular cert. But then for every cert you add on top of that, you become more and more unique.
Yeah, yeah. And I developed a couple of those I've done. They had a development and an infrastructure one. It was a couple. I'm like, I said, well, I got that background. But hell, I couldn't pass the regular CISP when I thought about it. I'm like, so I don't know. But yeah, Super Green Samurai. Okay, my man from LinkedIn joined us. It's great. I earned a couple.
Yeah, I'll catch you later. But yeah, thank you again, PBO.
Hold on, real Chris. He said he got it. He said it was solid, the zero trust.
Oh, nice. Yeah, B-Dubs also grabbed it. I've heard great things about it, so I'm looking forward to it.
All right, I appreciate you. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Like I said, I'll probably do another because NIST updated their zero trust special publication. So I was looking at it. They had a specific certification for certain technologies, and AWS had a big section. So I was going to do the zero trust and dig into the AWS section. They were how to set it up in AWS.
Yeah, ISACA also has the CET. Which is Certified in Emerging Technologies. And that's a 4-part. So you pass 4 different courses, and then you can obtain the actual certification for CET for Emerging Technologies. That includes Zero Trust, AI, and a couple other things there too. That was another one I was kind of eyeballing just because it looks neat. It's not showing up anywhere whatsoever, but it just looks pretty.
I was going to say technologies. Yeah, shout out to AWS. They had their practitioner, and what's up, Min? Oh, What's up, man? Man, it'd be nice if I bring you up. What's going on, man? Man?
What's happening?
Oh, was he hiding in the background the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it just came up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I'm popping off. But yeah, you have a good night.
I see you,
Peterson
Chris.
Mafia.
All right, bud. How you doing, man?
I'm still alive, prof. What's happening with you?
Oh, not much. Just tired, running out of gas. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Nice.
Well, it has been a long time since we have spoken, actually.
It has. I seen you popped up. I was like, I just thought about that when you popped up. I'm like, man, I ain't talked to Man in a while.
Sorry I missed your video. I just came on. I was in a
No.
meeting.
No, you fine. Just some NIST 800. I've been trying to dip my foot in the ISO. A lot of people are talking a lot about ISO in the United States. So I don't
Oh, yeah?
I think it's a little sea change going on there.
I think it should be fine. I think you should be able to grab onto it very easily.
Yeah. I didn't think it was anything new, just different. I just been doing that NIST and federal work. Like I said, it's not super different.
It's actually almost the same. I think NIST is more related to your controls, but ISO is more related to your governance and how the business works. It's more policy rather than the controls part. You should be easily able to grab it. It's fine.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of put those two together. So I think that's
Yeah.
what's interesting.
Yeah. I've seen in Australia a lot of organizations what they're doing is they do ISO first and then move on to NIST 853. And I think that's the best approach, I think.
No, I agree with you there.
So what's going on?
Oh, nothing, just work, trying to survive. Here in the United States, everybody getting laid off. Microsoft laid off 30,000 people or something crazy. So
Yeah, I think it's the same. It's the same that's happening in Australia as well.
Mhm.
A lot of banks they let go of a lot of people as well. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
getting harder. It's getting
yeah.
harder.
I just think tech's really in a recession. So
Yeah, I'm trying to change my field.
where are you switching to?
I have no idea yet. I have no idea,
I know.
honestly.
I keep thinking about going back to infrastructure or programming, but I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to get production calls in the middle of the night. I was like, so I don't know.
I'm actually thinking of opening a food cart.
Hey, AI won't take you out with the food cart though. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll sell my security services with the food cart. Get your MFA on. You know, I'll set up two-factor authentication with a burger.
That's cool. Like I say, you got multiple streams of income, so
Yeah,
that's always
multiple
interesting.
string.
Multiple
No
streams.
string. So you're getting a lot of questions, or is it?
Yeah, I was just wrapping up. Chris had a bunch. She came up. Chris always has a bunch. So we were just kind of wrapping it up. Just a few. Because when you
Yeah.
put small business in this, a lot of people think, that's too many checks for a small business. But I tell them I see small businesses trying to get federal work. So you got to kind of put those two together because, once again, when I worked at the state, they small companies try to do tax related work. So
Okay.
we had to do a risk assessment on them and boot them out now. But so just kind of a lot of them just kind of work with them to help them do that lift. So
I have one question for you, and then you can wrap up.
of course, what can I do for you?
Do you have like a template for a system security plan?
What I do is if NIST has a base one, if you do NIST SSP, it's probably 14 years old, and FedRAMP has a loving one. If you go to fedramp.gov, they have if you go to the right, they have templates and they have templates. They have the standard SSP out there.
Okay. I'll grab one from there.
Yeah, and two, if you do AWS, they usually have one out there that's partially filled because it's shared responsibility. So they kind of fill theirs out for their data center.
Okay. No,
So
So I think since we have talked, a lot of things have changed. A lot of like the criteria that we have right now, like my own thinking since we started the discussion, that has increased a lot.
Okay.
I've done a lot of risk assessments. I understand the AWS environment, Azure environment.
Okay.
So I'm trying to get more processes in now. And then one of the things that I'm currently working on is to get like a system security plan kind of a thing in the business. So if we are having a merger or we are getting a third party vendor, we have everything aligned and documented. and the organization can get that document and say, look, security did their work, and this is what we proposed. If it wasn't done, the control testing wasn't done, it's not our problem.
No, the only
Mhm.
issue I see with that is I see very few medium and small companies have an SSP because it's a heavy lift, man. The last couple I've done was like 800 pages. It's not because the template's so big because you got partially inherited, fully implemented. So the checks for each control is just a lot. So I
Yeah.
very rarely see a medium and small company have them. So that's
Yeah.
why we end up doing the standard. Here's our 120 security questionnaire to kind of balance that they don't have an SSP. Now, that's how we would knock a lot of people out. If we didn't want you to do business with you, we would just say you have to have an SSP, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of business owners love certain software companies, and they weren't close to having an SSP.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
kind of so we struggled a little bit with that when we requested them.
I think it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to start from somewhere, right? Like one or two pages, and then we do a more comprehensive kind of an assessment. But it has to start from somewhere. Like maturity is not going to come in 1 month. It's going to
Right.
take years.
Right. So, like, we started with the security questionnaire and then kind of helped them grow. But I get what you said. Just the security families with the checks, they were just struggling with that. So I think
Yeah.
our first step was the security questionnaire to kind of push them to go that route. But
Cool.
like you said, you as an org got to kind of make that decision. What y'all gonna accept, what not. I love an SSP. I'm just telling a lot of people just didn't have it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand. Well, thank you for answering my question. I hope you're doing good. You're
All
still
right.
hanging on.
I barely now, but you can always ping me. You know how to get me if you need me.
Yeah,
I
of course.
appreciate you, man. All right.
No problem. Take care.
Nice seeing you. So as you can see, my man Min showed up. I got people in Australia. I'm worldwide. I'm joking. I got people from Australia reaching out now. That's my man Min. I appreciate everybody for joining me. Everybody have a happy hump day tomorrow. Once again, I appreciate Min and my man Chris for coming up.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man. Just give shout out to my man Cam. Ty always in the mix. Cam's always in the mix. Regine's always in the mix. So I want to appreciate everybody for joining me. I have to apologize. I'm a little behind for my Professor Black Ops email. I've been kind of down for about a month. I've just been super tired. So PBO's kind of making his comeback. He's almost 60. Making my comeback. I've been a little tired. So once again, I appreciate. Shout out to Study GRC. I'm usually hanging out with those guys on their channel. Reach out to me on Discord or professorbblackops@gmail.com. Give me a couple weeks to respond. I just been out of pocket for a minute. Once again, I'm out. I appreciate everybody for joining me. Have a happy hump day tomorrow.